Okay, welcome to part 3 of the pre-diabetes workshop. So I hope you've enjoyed the webinar so far. So this in part 3, what I'm going to go over is more of the food aspect, and then in part 4, I'm going to go over how sugar and insulin really cause chronic inflammation, so you actually see what's happening. So what I'm going to dive into right now is the glycemic index. So this next slide here just tells us what the glycemic index is. So I'm just going to read this. So the glycemic index is a measure of the effects of carbohydrates on blood sugar levels. Carbohydrates that break down quickly during digestion and release glucose, which is sugar, rapidly go into the bloodstream and have a high glycemic index. So some things that would have a high glycemic index would be sugars, pastas, potatoes. Those things have a high glycemic index. So in other words here, they cause this spike to come up really high. Now carbohydrates that break down more slowly release glucose, sugar, more gradually into the bloodstream and have a lower glycemic index. So we want to be in this category right here. Up here in this blue, this is where chronic diseases are: heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Parkinson's, inability to lose weight, fibromyalgia, inability to sleep, and we could go on and on and on, where diseases really grow and prosper when you eat high glycemic index foods. So kind of let's go over what this would look like. So foods that increase insulin would be, and this is going to be just visuals: pastas, breads, potatoes, more pastas. Anything that's kind of white is going to increase insulin. So when I say increase insulin here, it's also going to increase your glucose levels as well. So glucose goes up and then insulin goes up, right? So we have potatoes, we have all these cereals, these breakfast morning cereals are going to cause your sugar to scream up, and also your insulin to go up quite a bit as well. Obviously we have pops, donuts, all these unhealthy foods, right? So then kind of let's move over here. What would be something that would have a low glycemic index? So here we have, this is hemp seeds. So sometimes I put hemp seeds into my shakes. We have hemp seeds. We have coconut. That's a good healthy fat. Vegetables, salads, avocados here. That's good healthy fats, low glycemic index. Vegetables, low glycemic index. Here again, avocados. Meats, all right, proteins have virtually zero glycemic index. And nuts. Now, I'm a big proponent of nuts, but you want to make sure that these nuts are raw and not roasted, because when they roast these nuts, they put bad fats in them. And those bad fats cause chronic inflammation in your body. So I have a whole nother series on that, which is the Total Food Makeover. So if you haven't watched yet, you might want to watch that. So this is the glycemic index. You can just Google this. Anything that is 70 or higher would be a high glycemic index. Medium is 56 to 69, and then low is under 55. So we really want to focus our diet, I would say, what we're eating, in this area right here. So this is a good visual. So what you're going to see here is this right here is the glycemic index of 100. So glucose, that's what they say is 100. So everything's compared to glucose. But we have table sugar, corn flakes, wheat flour, and a Snickers bar. Now you're going to see this. Now remember, the higher, this is the glycemic index, the higher the glycemic index, the quicker that food turns into glucose, and the quicker or higher your insulin level is going to spike. And that's where all the disease process occurs. So look at look at cornflakes. It has a glycemic index of 81. So this is massively high. Now this is what I want to really put your attention to is look at sugar. It has a glycemic index of 64, and wheat bread has a glycemic index of what? 74. So what does this tell you? This is telling you that bread is going to cause you more weight gain, more glucose spikes, more insulin spikes than sugar that you put in your coffee. Now you can go research this. I researched this 100 times when I realized this. So this is why bread, right? They say wheat bread, wheat bread, wheat bread. Well, what's wheat bread doing to you and people in this country is it's making them literally sick because we have to sell our bread, right? So here, this is a very, I don't eat bread. I mean, bread is not very good at all, and it has a high glycemic index. Now look at this. Now why would a Snickers bar have a glycemic index of 40? What's in a Snickers bar? There's peanuts. Like peanuts have a very low glycemic index. There's also fat in the Snickers bar as well. Now it's unhealthy fat, so you don't want to eat a Snickers bar. So my whole comparison is you don't want to go off of the glycemic index totally. You have to actually, think about what's happening, what's in these foods. The glycemic index is strictly only a guide. Now look at this. Eggs is 1, avocados is 1. So if you're going to eat eggs for breakfast, guess what's going to happen to your glucose level is going to go down. Your glucose level is going to go down, and guess what else is going to go down? Your insulin is going to go down, and when this happens here, your inflammation also goes down. So there's really key aspects that we need to change the diet and get low glycemic, healthy foods that have good healthy fats and good healthy proteins in them. So I would never, this is a breakfast of disease, of chronic disease. Wheat bread with orange juice and a banana. That's all sugar, right? There's no good healthy fats. Or another poor breakfast would be oatmeal. Oatmeal is horrible. It's all carbohydrates, and there's no good healthy fats in it. So another horrible breakfast would be oatmeal with orange juice and a banana. That's a breakfast of chronic disease. Let's go on to another one. Here we have shredded wheats of 69. And then we have spinach, 15. Cheese, good healthy cheeses, 0. And meats, 15. So we just have to change what we're thinking and how we're eating consistently. Right? What I'm laying out here is it's not a fad, it's not Jenny Craig, it's not MetaFast. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle that you're going to participate in until the day you die, because this is how you get your health back and how you restore your health. It's through what I'm laying out in this series here. Now look at this, Cheerios. It has what? 74. They've done a great marketing job with Cheerios. I would not touch Cheerios. It's all sugar. Quaker Oats, oatmeal, 74. Then we have wheat bread, 74. Look at this, white rice is 98, so it's really high. So I avoid all of those foods. I might sometimes eat white rice. Guess what this? Cashews. So what would be a breakfast? A breakfast could be a glass of coconut milk, some cashews, a piece of cheese, an avocado. There's a lot of variety that you can do. Once you get into lifestyle, it's not hard to keep it going, all right? It's just a matter of figuring out the lifestyle and continuing that on a regular basis. So here's a thought question. So here we have whole milk, which is at 39. Then we have rice milk, which is at 86. Okay, so there's no good rice milk. There's no fat in it. It's all carbohydrates. Okay, so what I want you to see is just a variance of the glycemic index. So if we drink milk, so my son does like milk, and we get whole milk, right? Get rid of the skim, get rid of the 1%, get rid of the 2%, get whole milk. Or even better yet would be coconut milk or almond milk. So you want to shift you want to shift what you're eating, and to be truthfully, a lot of people have some kind of sensitivity to dairy. So I'm not a big fan of dairy. I'm dairy free as much as possible. I do consume a lot of coconut milk every day. So if you have whole milk which is 39, right? The glycemic index is 39, and you have skim milk. Skim milk is going to be higher. Of let's say skim milk is going to be 60. I'm not sure what it is, but you'd have to look it up. Now, why is that? Because skim milk, what do they do with skim milk? They take all the what? Fat out. Okay, and we need good, healthy fats. Fat is what we need in our body. All right, so this is one of my patients. You can see this is the dates right here, and she was diabetic or pre-diabetic. And what she did is when she got up in the morning, she took her fasting glucose right here. And then she put down what she ate, and then she took her glucose 1 hour and then 2 hours post-meal, right? So she gets up, takes her glucose level, she eats breakfast, she takes it 1 hour and then 2 hours later. Now look at this. Fasting glucose when she woke up was 114. Now if you recall, where do we want that? We want it between 80 and 85, right? So what do we know right now about her body being inflamed? It's high. Right, her brain is is shrinking. Inflammation is rampant in her whole body. So that's what's happening. Now, so this right here, she had eggs. Now let's take this right here. Let's compare that to down here. She had what? 1 cup oatmeal, teaspoon of sugar and coffee. Now look at this glycemic index here, or look at her sugar levels 1 hour. 191 versus what? 106. So this is what people have been taught to eat for breakfast. And we have a country of sick people that have chronic degenerative conditions because no one's telling people the truth, right? This is what my online university is. It's truthful information that you can get well. So here we have, so 191. That's massively high. Now let's go to this right here. Here she had Cheerios. It's supposed to be good for your heart. And 2% milk and coffee. 1 hour post, it's 163. 2 hours, it's 119. So you can see here that the lowest reading right here is on the eggs. Now, let's go back here. Why is that? Let's correlate this. What is the glycemic index of eggs? Is what? Exactly nothing. It's 1. It doesn't affect your glucose level, and it doesn't affect your insulin level. So what do we see right here is that, what do we see right here? What do we see right here is that 114 to 106 to 104. So it actually went down over 2 hours. Why? Because there's no glucose increase and there's no insulin increase, right? So these are the strategies that you want to implement day in and day out to get you better. So I hope you found value in this. Again, health is not a destination, it's a journey. I work on my health every single day. I try and do something every single day to improve my health. So I hope you've found value in this, and I hope you can take this information and apply this in your personal life starting right now. Take care.